Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudevi Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations with Specific Functions, text 34-35 onwards. Ye cha pralambkhar dar dur kesharishtam allek alle bhak samyana kapipondra kadyaha anya cha shalva kuj balva dant vakras तप सप्तोक्षर शंबर विदुरथ रुक्मी मुख्य एवं मृदे समिति शालिन आतच्चापः काम्बोज मत्स्य कुरु सृंज कैक्याद्या यास्त्यन्त्य दर्शनम अलम बल पार्थ भीम व्याजाव्रेन हरिणा निलयम तदीयम. All demonic personalities like Pralamba, Dhenuka, Baka, Keshi, Arishta, Chanur, Mushtik, Kavalyapida, elephant, Kansa, Yavan, Narakasura, Pondrak, great marshals like Shalva, Dvivid monkey and Balwal, Dantvakra, the seven bulls, Shambar, Vidurath, Rukmi, as also great warriors like Kamboj, Matsya, Kuru, Srinjay, Kakya, would all fight vigorously either with the Lord Hari directly or with him under his names of Baldev, Arjun, Bhim, etc. And the demons just being killed would attain either the impersonal Brahmjyoti or his personal abode in the Vaikuntha planets. So these are just a few names of the demons that Krishna killed. Krishna, it was said that he lived in Vrindavan for about 10 years, 10 years and 4 months or 8 months, something like that. And Kansa would send, every day he would send 2 or 3 demons. So every day Krishna would kill so many demons. So these are just the main demons that Krishna killed. Either Krishna killed or he got them killed through his devotees like Bhima and Arjuna. All manifestations in both the material and spiritual worlds are demonstrations of the different potencies of Lord Krishna. The personality of Godhead, Baladev, is his immediate personal expansion. Bhima, Arjun, etc. are his personal associates. The Lord would appear, and he does so whenever he appears with all his associates and potencies. Therefore, the rebellious souls, like the demons and demoniac men mentioned by names like Pralamba, would be killed either by the Lord himself or by his associates. So Krishna, whenever he appears with his expansions, associates, everybody. So they all do the same work. All these affairs will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. But we should know well that all the above mentioned living entities killed would attain salvation, either by being merged in the Brahmjyoti of the Lord or being allowed to enter into the abodes of the Lord called Vaikuntha. This has already been explained by Bhishma Dev in the 1st canto. So it depends on the asura that Krishna is killing, what kind of mood he is in, and he will get that kind of salvation. All persons who participated in the battlefield of Kurukshetra or otherwise with the Lord or with Baldev, etc., would benefit by attaining spiritual existence according to the situation of their minds at the time of death. Those who recognize the Lord would enter Vaikuntha. Those who estimated the Lord as only a powerful being would attain salvation by merging into the spiritual existence of the impersonal Brahmjyoti of the Lord. But every one of them would get released from material existence. So this is the benefit of being killed by Krishna or Krishna's devotees, that one would get released from material existence. But it's not the topmost situation. It's not the best possible situation. Best situation is one leaves the body serving Krishna, thinking about Krishna in a favorable way, leading the life serving Krishna, worshipping Krishna. Since such is the benefit of those who played with the Lord inimically, one can only imagine what would be the position of those who devoutly served the Lord in transcendental relationship with Him. So this is the benefit of being with Krishna, either serving Him or even those who are inimical to Him. They also got benefited. But so sometimes people do ask, so why not become a demon and get killed by Krishna? But there is a problem. Well, one problem is either we merge in Brahmjyoti or one can go to Vaikuntha, but those are very rare. But mostly one merges in Brahmjyoti who get killed by Krishna. But then there is another problem. The problem is one has to be a demon of such a level, of such a caliber, that Krishna himself has to come and kill him. Then he will attain that kind of destination. But if he cannot become a demon of that caliber, become a devotee of a small caliber, even very small devotee, very neophyte devotee, Krishna would take care of that devotee personally. So becoming a devotee is easier and it's more safe than becoming a demon. And moreover, becoming a demon, we have to do so many, first of all, austerities to get all those powers to harass the whole world when the Krishna himself has to come and kill. Too much work. Way too much work. Becoming a devotee is easy. He says, just think of me, pay obeisances unto me, worship me. He'll come to me. And Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, he has made it even uh, uh, very, very easy. And just chant the holy names. Of course, Mahaprabhu said 64 rounds. Srila Prabhupada made it even more easy. He's a chant 16 rounds. That's good enough. So becoming a devotee is easier and it's more powerful. Because by becoming a devotee, when we try to become a devotee, the mercy of Acharya Parampara, Guru Parampara, mercy of Mahaprabhu, mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, mercy of Krishna also flows with us. If somebody wants to become a demon, asura, then there is no mercy flowing. He has to work all on his own. So it's very difficult proposition. Kalin milit dhyam amamrishya nirnam stoka yusham swanigam bat dur taraha avirhitastvanu yugam sahi satyavatyam ved drumam vitapasho vibhashyati sma. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vedvyas or Vyasadeva, will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. So here Brahmaji talks about Vedvyas, the next incarnation. Herein Brahma mentions the future compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam for the short-lived persons of the Kali age. As explained in the first canto, the less intelligent persons of the age of Kali would be not only short-lived, but also perplexed with so many problems of life due to the awkward situation of the godless human society. Advancement of material comforts of the body is activity in the mode of ignorance, according to the laws of material nature. Real advancement of knowledge means progress of knowledge in self-realization. But in the age of Kali, the less intelligent men mistakenly consider the short lifetime of 100 years, now factually reduced to about 40 or 60 years. So this Prabhupada had written second canto in late 60s or yeah, it was in late 60s after he came to America. So that time he's writing that now the lifespan is reduced to 40 to 60 years. It's supposed to be, for Kali Yuga, it's supposed to be 100 years. But how many people live for 100 years? And many times people do raise questions on this sentence. How come Prabhupada says 40 to 60 years when we see people are living up to 70, 80, 90 years? What Prabhupada is mentioning is the average age of human beings now. And this average age should also take into consideration that so many abortions are happening these days. So we have to take the full average of the whole population. So that's when it is reducing because so many abortions. Abortion means that that kid just didn't live at all. It didn't even live for one day. So that way we can see the average age is reducing. And another other problems with this age of Kali, they are less intelligent because they have no information of the eternity of life. They identify with a temporary material body existing for 40 years and consider it is the only basic principle of life. Such persons are described as equal to the asses and bulls. But the Lord, as a compassionate Father of all living beings, imparts unto them the vast Vedic knowledge in short treatises, like the Bhagavad Gita, and for the graduates, the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Puranas and the Mahabharata are also similarly made by Vyasadeva for the different types of men in the modes of material nature, but none of them are independent of the Vedic principles. So Vedvyas, knowing the problems of the people in the age of Kali Yuga, so he divided Vedas into 4 Vedas and then Itihas, Puran, and so many other scriptures he gave, Mahabharata and other scriptures. So we can, because Vedas is very difficult for us to understand. So then he gave Puranas and Itihas, so stories. So just read the stories and still you'll get benefited and one can make progress. But still people are so lazy. They still won't read. And that's when Srila Prabhupada came. If we had only the scriptures given by Vedvyas, we still won't understand anything. So Prabhupada, unless until we got this beautiful commentaries by Srila Prabhupada, we won't be able to understand. Even then we don't read scriptures. Even though we have this very easy to understand purports by Srila Prabhupada, still we are not inclined to read, to understand Prabhupada's books. Now what else can somebody do? But this is really the age of Kali Yuga. We have no inclination for anything. So that's why, even if you don't like to study Prabhupada's books, chanting is the most effective process. So we should at least get attached to chanting more and more and more, and that will definitely help. Text 37. Devadvisham nigama vartmani nishthitanam purbhir mayan vihitabhir drishyaturabhi lokan ghatam mati vimo mati pralobham vesham vidhaya bahubhashyat aupadharmyam. When the atheists, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub religious principles. So, after Vyasadeva, Lord Buddha came. So, Brahmaji is talking about that. The incarnation of Lord Buddha is not the same Buddha incarnation we have in the present history of mankind. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appeared in a different Kali age. In the duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kali Yugas. Well, okay. Actually 71, Prabhupada says 72. And in one of them, the particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principles. So, of course, in the translation, so great scientist Maya. I mean, we also see this. Of course, the same situation is not here, but similar, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets. I mean, there are so many so-called material advancements going on, and Lord Buddha also appeared in this age also, but specifically in this verse, Prabhupada is saying this is different Lord Buddha. Every Kali Yuga, Lord Buddha appears, so this is different Kali Yuga that is being mentioned. So that is why what I was saying, if we had just read the words without the commentary, without the purport by Srila Prabhupada, we would have mistaken this, that, oh, there's mistake in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Buddha didn't appear like this, how it is mentioned in this shloka. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says that Jiva Goswami has mentioned that this is Buddha from different Kali Yuga. So that's why acharyas are very, very important for us to guide, guide through the scriptures. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principles. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle itself, but it's an important quality for persons who are actually religious. It's a common sense religion because one is advised to do no harm to any other animal or living being because such harmful actions are equally harmful to he who does the harm. But before learning these principles of non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent. And after being non-violent, one has to learn tolerance and simplicity of living. So these qualities Prabhupada is quoting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 13th chapter, where we studied all these different qualities. One must offer respects to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders and also train the senses for controlled action, learning to be unattached to family and home, and enacting devotional service to the Lord, etc. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. Otherwise, there is no religion. In religious principles, there must be God in the center. Otherwise, simple moral instructions are merely sub-religious principles, generally known as upadharma or nearness to the religious principles. So why Prabhupada is saying that? So because it is mentioned in the shloka, Upadharmyam means Upadharma. Upadharma means close to real dharma, but it's not the real dharma. So that's why in translation it is said he will come as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles, which is not exactly religion. Sub-religious principles that Lord Buddha preached was ahimsa parama dharma. non-violence. And Prabhupada is saying before one becomes non-violent, one has to first become humble and uh, prideless, and after becoming non-violent, one has to learn tolerance and simplicity of living, and finally, one has to surrender unto God. Lord Buddha, although he is incarnation of Krishna or a Shaktivesh avatar, he didn't preach that to the surrender unto God. So that's why it was called Upadharma, or nearness to religious principles. Of course, it is very good to be non-violent and humble and prideless, but ultimately one has to come to the level of devotion service to Krishna. That is ultimate goal. Text 38. Yarhyalayeshapi satam na hare katha syu pashandino dvijjana vrishlan hrideva swaha swadha vashda iti sma giro na yatra shasta bhavishyati kaler bhagwan yugante. Thereafter, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there exists no topics on the subject of God, even at the residences of the so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher castes, and when the power of government is transferred to the hands of ministers elected from low-born Shudra class, or those lower than them, and when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even by word, at that time the Lord will appear as a supreme chastiser, Kalki Avatar. So he will appear towards the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of Satyuga, when all these wonderful symptoms will appear. No more religion, no more morality, nothing will exist. The symptoms of the worst conditions of the material world at the last stage of this age, called Kali Yuga, are stated herein. The sum and substance of such conditions is godlessness. Even the so-called saints and higher castes of the social orders, generally known as Dvijjanas, or the twice born, will become atheists. As such, all of them will practically forget even the holy name of the Lord, what to speak of his activities. The higher castes of society, namely the intelligent class of men, guiding the destinies of the social orders, the administrative class of men guiding the law and order of the society, and the productive class of men guiding the economic development of the society, must all be properly well versed in the knowledge of Supreme God. Knowing factually his name, quality, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, and personalities. So the shloka says, Brahmaji is saying, they will all forget about everything. They will not even discuss the names of God or any topics of God towards the end of Kali Yuga. Of course, it's a big paragraph. I'll just go towards the end. It is stated herein that the governmental power of society in the Kali Yuga will be passed over to the uncultured, godless, laborer classes of men, and thus the Niridevas, or the ministers of the government, will be the Vrishalas, or the uncultured, lower class men of society. Well, which we can see even these days. This is what is happening. Who are all the leaders of the society? They have no idea about how to rule. They are there just to make money. That's all. No one can expect any peace and prosperity in a human society full of uncultured lower classes of men. The symptoms of such uncultured social animals are already in vogue, and it's a duty of the leaders of the men to take note of it and try to reform the social order by introducing the principles of twice born men trained in the science of God consciousness. This can be done by expanding the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. In the degraded condition of human society, the Lord incarnates as a Kalki avatar and kills all the demoniac without mercy. So when Krishna will come as Kalki avatar, there will be no more preaching, no more No more talking or anything. It'll be wholesale killing. That's what he will do. And then it's mentioned in Bhagavatam later canto, like 12th canto, that then the mode of goodness, the sages or the people in mode of goodness, towards the end of Kali Yuga, they will basically run away to the hills and the forests. And when Kalki Avatar comes, he'll kill all the demoniac. The demonic will be, I would say, 99% of population will be like that. And then those people, those sages and high cultured men, they will come back and they will initiate the Satyuga. Of course, more descriptions are given in other scriptures how Satyuga will start from that time on. But that is what is going to happen at the end of Kali Yuga when Kalki Avatar comes. So Kalki Avatar, as it is mentioned, he will come towards the end of Kali Yuga. So many people are talking, Kalki Avatar has already come or he is going to come very soon. And in Kapurthala or some other place, no such thing. He will come in this village called Sambhal in Bihar. And his father's name is mentioned, mother's name is mentioned in the scriptures. And he will perform his activities towards the end of Kali Yuga. Still, 4,27,000 years are there before he comes. So anyway, I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. So I guess we all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare